Hello YouTube, Message in the Bottle here with another video. Now, I hope you guys do enjoy the background of the me playing the video game, which is Soul Calibur 6, especially with this character Ivy. Ivy just really is a eye candy, and I love playing as her aside from her unique style and gameplay that I really enjoy playing because she does a lot of crowd control. I also enjoy looking at her because yes, she's a well-designed female character. But that being said, and I know I sound like a goomer, but I honestly don't care. That being said, this is just like a follow-up video of the past couple of videos that I've been posting. And just a reminder what this YouTube channel is about. It's basically me expressing my thoughts, opinions, ideas, and this YouTube channel kind of served like a diary of what I've been through, what I experienced, and hopefully I could share my wisdom, my personal knowledge to you guys, the viewers, and you guys make better decision than I did. So what I want to discuss in this video is essentially my addiction to video games. Now, a little reminder, because this is something I forgot to mention. I'm trying my best to keep my personal life um, separate from this YouTube channel, if that makes any sense. Because once again, for those of you who follow my YouTube channel and seen my past couple of videos, I mentioned several times that there are a lot of crazy people out there, and there are a lot of people that are intentionally trying to harm random strangers in the internet for no good reason. So, as a result, the best thing to go forward with the internet, especially my YouTube channel, is to remain anonymous. I had one of my favorite streamer who I donate and talk to personally. He literally received death threats just by playing video games and expressing his opinions on the video game, which to me that's baffling, and I don't know why would people do that, especially a random stranger on the internet. But this is a crazy world that we live in. So yeah. So back to the subject. What I want to discuss is my addiction to video games. Why I'm addicted to video games. I think a lot of people are in the same boat about this. For me personally, it's mainly about escapism, especially personal stress, personal it's some level of trauma, and the fact that my personal life is kind of boring. It is boring. I'm not gonna lie, it is boring. Main reason why is because I grew up in a very poor family, and when you're growing up in a poor family, you have limitation, severe limitation, especially places that you want to explore, you want to travel, you want to experience. And the fact that I grew up with a genetic disorder, which is a cleft lip. For those of you who don't know, I'll leave a link down the description below about the cleft lip. I'll do my best to review my past couple of videos because I keep forgetting to leave links, important links to for you guys to understand the subject that I'm trying to talk about. But anyway, because of my genetic disorder, the cleft lip, you could say that I have a funny face. So as a result, I'm not a very social person. So aside from video games addiction, I clearly remember when I was growing up, and because my parents tried, I repeat, they tried their best to um, be strict with me and raise me right. The thing is that they failed on so many levels on their part that I grew up socially stunted. Um, when I say they fail on their part in so many levels, they don't consider like practical ways of how things are gonna go down in terms of raising a child. First of all, obviously, you gotta be there physically and you gotta pay attention to your child. If you don't pay attention to your child, obviously you're not, that child is that child is gonna sense it. That's the best way I could put it. That child is gonna it's gonna sense if the parents are paying attention to them, if or not. And majority of my childhood, it did felt that way, sadly, where my parents kind of neglected me. But at the same time, hypocritically, and this is my perspective, hypocritically, they try their best to strain me out and get A's and, you know, do well in school, basically. I did do well enough to pass. That's the obvious part. But I didn't do well enough to carry some level of discipline. And the main reason why is because I was trying to escape the stress, and I have this weird fear of success. I'm not sure how to put it, but this fear of success, it is kind of like a phenomenon why a lot of people, they have high potential, but they're kind of scared to be successful. I'll leave another link down in the description below because I remember watching a YouTube video discussing about it. I think it was from a psychologist, and he he did point it out that this thing is a real phenomenon, and this happened to a lot of people more than you realize. But anyway, guys, eventually this led me to, you know, develop a video game addiction. But what made it even worse is childhood trauma. When I was a little child, I remember playing video games with my biological father. And my biological father, he was definitely kind of like a video game addict. I remember he worked for a local video game store that was privately owned. And me, I was spoiled. I was a spoiled little brat who gets to hang out with my dad as a little kid, trying out a bunch of other video games. I clearly remember one of my favorite video games at that time was cars destroying each other. I kind of forgot what game it was. It was darn it, I kind of forgot, but it was not Twisted Metal. It was something similar to Twisted Metal, but I clearly remember the video game was about cars with weapons and they all shooting each other, and that's why one of my favorite games I like to play currently is World of Tanks. But yeah, for some reason I'm addicted to machinery vehicles that are uniquely designed, destroying each other, and that kind of carried forward to what I wanted to become when I was a child, which is basically be an engineer, because I love working with my hands and seeing the work of my hands coming to fruition. Ironically, I kind of have a job that's kind of similar to that department, and it pays well. But okay, sorry guys, I'm going off rail again. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that this is the starting point of me getting a video game addiction. And as I'm growing up, I felt more and more pressure because I started to have family issues. So one of the things that I just mentioned is, as a little child, I was with my biological father. And the reason why I say biological father is because my biological father ended up separating with my mother. My mother, she cheated on my biological father, and my biological father found out and obviously got pissed. Obviously, tried to fight custody over me, especially at court. And yeah, I never saw my father again, ever and ever. And despite me as a grown ass adult, I still haven't seen my father. I still haven't met him. So I don't know his whereabouts. I don't even know he's alive or so. But that was the last time I saw him. And I clearly remember before he left a bunch of video games behind for me. And whenever we talk on the phone, he talks about the video games that he left for me. I clearly remember that. So because of that, you could say that was the start of my video game addiction. But around middle school or high school, you could say I kind of developed a TV addiction. Now, in that time, um, watching TV was kind of normal, especially for the American life. But at the time, I knew something was off because I knew that if you're a person that watch a lot of TV and play a lot of video games, that means that you don't really have a purpose outside of that activity, if that makes any sense. And me, I'm guilty of this. I'm 100% guilty of this. The main reason why is because for me personally, I have low discipline, but it's not just the discipline part. Because I clearly remember one of my proudest moments is reading a book that I really wanted to read from first page to last page, and this was purely voluntarily. This wasn't like an assignment from college. This is something that I really wanted to do, and I felt proud of myself for reading a novel. Well, it's not a novel. It's more like a chapter book, but it was definitely a storytelling book, fictional, and I felt prideful about that. And basically, what I'm trying to say here, guys, is that the video game addiction reason why I developed in the first place is because I do have a fear of success, and I do have a little social anxiety where it's kind of hard for me to socialize with people. I know that because I was born with a genetic disorder, I'm not easy on the eyes, just like this female fighter here, Ivy. Like, no joke, guys. Video games is, in a sense, it's like a escapism. It's the perfect device for escaping your personal reality. So, to give you an example, in one of the video games that I just mentioned, Water Tanks, I am part of a community and I do play with that community and I talk to them over Discord. And I, basically grew up with them, play Water Tanks, and it's like one of those MMORPG communities that you're in, and you socialize with them, but you don't see them in person. You just socialize online, and the reason why is because it's super comfortable and convenient. But more importantly, it's an alternative of escaping your personal reality. Like me right now, especially with this video game background that you see here, I'm playing as this sexy female fighter who has a sword whip, and she's beautiful on the eyes, and she's highly attractive, highly desirable. And I know it sounds like a goomer saying that, but once again, video games is like to escape reality. One of my favorite video games that I spent hours and hours on, and I purposely didn't finish the game. Like I didn't speed run it or anything. I took my sweet time playing that game. Was Witcher 3. Witcher 3 was a very well made game, and you as a player, you play as Geralt of Rivia, and Geralt of Rivia, he had a fantastic story, a fantastic relationship with some sexy female wizards, and the video game itself, it felt very, I won't say realistic, but it felt very consistent, if that makes any sense. And the world building was amazing, fantastic. It felt like you could escape your own reality and be a part of that world. That's the best way I can put it. Now, it does sound schizophrenic, if that makes any sense, but think about what's happening when you're playing the video game, guys. When you're playing the video game, you're engaging the simulation of what's happening in the digital world in front of the TV screen. Think about it. That's exactly what video games is. So, so aside from childhood trauma, aside from escaping my stress, my social anxiety, my personal reality, those are the main reason why I developed a video game addiction. Now, am I ashamed of it? I'll be honest with you, sort of yes, because I spent so much time playing video games when I should have spent time in other things. One of my most regrettable things that I wish I accomplished earlier, especially in my younger adult years, is finishing college. I should have got a college degree by now. I should have got a bachelor's degree, but I didn't. Right now, in my record, I have some college credit, but I never finished college. I'm just one class away from getting an AS degree. And to be honest with you guys, studying is not that hard because if you think about it, the education system, rewards you for memorizing stuff. Now, me personally, I do have like a short-term memory loss. Especially if you were to meet me in real life, you'll notice that I might be forgetful. But the method of studying itself is not that hard because, and I say that because my when it comes to studying, the best way I can memorize things and not be forgetful is through flashcards, through notes. Because when I'm taking notes, it feels like I'm studying with my hand, and that's how my brain just retain the memory, retain the information. And flashcards, it just a quick little quiz just to stick it in your head. And that's how I passed through my classes back in college. Now I will admit I did fail some classes. I'm not gonna lie about that, but I still progressed. I still made it through. Now, if I didn't have a video game addiction, because I rather play video games than studying and finish college, and it's because okay, reason why I rather play video games than finish college is because video games it felt gratifying in terms of the reward. College, it felt more like stress after stress, and despite that you finish it, you're gonna have even more stress. To give you guys a good example of what I'm seeing in the real world is a lot of college graduates not getting their dream job of what they study for. Like I'm seeing that with my own eyes, and that's why trade school is becoming more popular than ever because there's no stress after college. So yeah, but I still regret not going to not finishing college. Sorry, I'm rambling my words, but all I'm saying is that I should have invested my time more wisely on other things. I still love playing video games because it's a good way to escape reality, escape your stress, etc., etc. But there are other things that I wish I could invest in my time on, such as finishing college, reading a book. Because when I read that book voluntarily, that chapter book that I really wanted to read, and for those of you guys are curious what book I'm referring to a Warhammer 40k book, and it was a big book, and I was proud of myself finishing from the first page to the last page. Um, yeah, so my only regret is not not disciplining myself with video games and timing myself properly, like when to stop. Because I won't deny this, guys. My video game addiction really is an addiction. Like, it's an uncontrollable addiction. Well, guys, I'm gonna end it here because I feel like I'm ranting enough and I'm losing my train of thoughts, my train of words. But yeah, so please leave a comment down in the comment section below. And of course, if you want to share your story, please do. I'll love to see your story. I'll definitely leave a like if you guys were to comment your story and tell me your thoughts about this video. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video game background as well. So yeah, this is something that I'm probably gonna start doing from now on, like have a video game on the background. But I'll see where it goes. If you guys don't like this, let me know, because I really want to interact with my audience. Well, guys, I'm gonna end it here. Message in the bottle, over and out, and thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of the week.